Welcome to Pageant Planet's podcast, where we share stories and strategies to help expand and connect the global pageant community. Visit pageantplanet.com to find pageants, hire coaches, shop for dresses, and more. Now, here's your host, Stephen Roddy.
Welcome, everyone, to another Pageant Planet podcast. This is the podcast for contestants who want to be inspired and discover how to win the crown. Today, Jessie Ledoux, our queen of coaching, and myself are covering the life of Corrin Stellakis.
We have absolutely loved covering other Miss Earth USA title holders such as Amani Davis, Andrea Jabau, and now it's Corinne's turn. Corinne has been around each corner of the pageant world and back, and she has competed in Miss Teen USA, Miss World America, and in Miss Earth United States, which she eventually won in 2016. And through a turn of events, she also ended up taking on the title of Miss Earth Fire a few months after the Miss Earth pageant occurred, and we'll tell you how that happened.
Corinne has won state, national, and international titles like it's her job. Well, I mean, it kind of is her job as a pageant girl, and it doesn't show any signs of stopping anytime soon. So she's a personal trainer with a university degree in communications and psychology, and Corinne equips her coaching and training clients with the tools and mindsets to become fit to reign. Corinne grew up in a very small town called Bridgeport on a family-owned horse farm. If you think having pets teach children about responsibility at a young age, you can multiply that amount by about 10 when it comes to taking care of animals on a farm.
She grew up mucking stalls, cleaning water buckets, and riding horses daily. And her mother began an after-school horse program called A Horse, of Course. And there were lessons and programs for kids available, and Corinne loved sharing her passion for horses to other young souls. And at the age of 12, she joined an interscholastic equestrian team and was able to compete all over the United States. Sounds like a pageant.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's actually like Miss Rodeo America, which I know that you've heard of. I mean, it's all this pageants with horse showcasing or equestrian but yeah, anyways, like mucking stalls does not sound like a
pageant girl thing.
It does not. Not a typical pageant girl if you're mucking
like
stalls.
Everyone.
Yeah. So Corinne also had a very unique experience when it comes to siblings, since her family was involved in foster care program for about 4 years. Corinne has 2 biological brothers and about 17 foster brothers and sisters growing up that her family, they opened up their home to. And this was a great learning experience due to the responsibility it taught her, and it helped her grow up quickly through changing diapers to helping kids with heart monitors.
She attended Chittenango High School, and the only reason I know how to say that is because I grew up like an hour from there.
Oh, wow.
She attended Chittenango High School, where she played varsity volleyball, and something she learned through playing a team-based sport was how to win together and how to lose together. Corinne always felt that her team were winners because of the character they showed on the court. They would leave their blood, sweat, and tears just to ensure they gave it their all.
Leaving your blood on the sports, it sounds very aggressive.
Volleyball's no joke. I gotta be honest. I couldn't even do it in gym class. So kudos to anyone that does it. Like, really.
Yeah. Well, I do it on the beach every now and then, but it's just kind of a family fun event that sometimes. Actually, on our wedding, Renata and I, we got married down in Mexico, and there was about 40 people there, and we just had this massive volleyball game tournament for, it was probably like 2 hours, but it felt like a week when you're in the Mexican sun, like during the summer. So it was, thankfully the ocean was right there. Anyway,
I would have passed. Delicate wrists,
I think Renata was on the side drinking her drink and watching, but the guys definitely got into it, and we were taunting each other. It was fun.
And you probably had blood. There was probably blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, it wasn't blood. Definitely sand. Definitely sweat. No tears. Okay,
fair enough.
These values and skill all served Corinne strongly as she faced bullying in high school and on social media, a commonly disheartening coincidence we notice with a lot of our podcast subjects. She graduated a whole year early from high school because she was taking advanced classes to help her graduate and get away from these bullies she dealt with. And that's an epitome of taking a bad thing and making it a positive. But Corinne strengthened her faith in knowing her identity in Christ as a daughter of the King, along with her strong family support system, helped her to remain resilient in times of stress and taught her to seek opportunities to help her build her confidence.
So this is a major coaching moment, I think. It's to never underestimate the power of a first impression, both in pageants and in outer relationships. The first impression has a lot to do with how people will view you in life and pageants. And the golden rule is do unto others as you would have others do unto you, and always remain a woman of integrity. Rely on those soft skills. So like, even though Corinne was going through bullying and she wasn't feeling great about herself, it was like, things that she had built up about herself in the home, it was like things like eye contact, reading the room, are what has enabled her to stay strong in these moments and find places where she fit in outside of that. And I'm sure she applied that to her studies. So those soft skills, they cannot be underestimated anymore. And I think for me, my two favorite, and Stephen, you can pipe in with your two favorite soft skills. Mine is eye contact and then understanding your audience at the same time.
Yeah. Those are good. Because I'm on the spot, I'm just going to go with those. But like, I think that those are solid, because if somebody doesn't have good eye contact, if they have those shifty eyes and you talk to them, you're like, wait, you start to almost feel self-conscious about yourself, like either you're boring or that you have something in your teeth or something. So yeah, I think it's very important. And also, like, this is a kudo to Corinne's parents. She clearly had like a pretty strong family foundation to bring in foster kids, a strong like farm work ethic. And I know her and her mom are really close. But like, for those of you listening that maybe have a similar structure as Corinne, maybe not exactly, but just a solid support structure at home, like, thank your parents, because that's something that a lot of kids or even like adults, that they don't have. And having that solid foundation, it really gives you a leg up on overcoming adversity. I know with my mom and dad, they created such a loving, supportive environment that I went through a lot of crap in my life, but I always knew I could go home, and I always knew my parents loved me. And because of that, it gave me tenacity to overcome and keep trying, where if I had a different home environment, I'm not sure if I would have made it. So, I mean, it really is something to say, and take a moment, like, shoot your parents a text, because, gosh, you owe them a lot if you come from a family structure like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So in high school was a pivotal moment in Corinne's pageant career as well. Her school was home of L. Frank Baum and the author of Wizard of Oz. And in 2012, Corinne won the Miss Junior Oz title, which was enough experience in itself to propel her to compete in Miss New York Teen USA in 2014. And at this point, like many new pageant girls, she didn't even know that pageant coaches existed. She relied on her own personal experiences to help prepare her for the pageant.
And I will say, before we keep going, New York USA, New York Teen USA, it's one of those pageants where it's like, you don't need to have experience to win. You just have to have the abilities to do well. They recognize a lot of potential. So I think this definitely worked in Corinne's favor, because out of 80 competitors across New York, hands down, like I said, one of the most competitive state titles to compete at, just because anything can happen. Corinne won the title of Miss New York Teen USA 2014. And throughout her reign, she was a spokesperson for the Tick-Borne Disease Alliance and traveled across the state speaking about early detection of Lyme disease.
Let me ask you this, as a bit of a side tangent. Obviously, Corinne's a very beautiful girl. And when you're competing against 80 other contestants, right, in a singular age division, does interview at that point have less of an impact and is more visual appealing, because your interviews are probably shorter just to get everybody through? And so you probably don't have that time to go as deep in with contestants. So is it even more important to be, lack of better words, visually appealing than like a stronger interview in those scenarios?
Well, think about the breakdown of the USA pageant in general. So it's 33%. Mm-hmm. Interview, evening gown, swimsuit. It was swimsuit at that time. So when you think about Corinne, like you said, very visually appealing. So she was going to score well in evening gown and definitely high in swimsuit, because her body is ridiculous. I think she won Best Body of the Year in a couple of years later for Pageant Planet.
Yeah.
Is that right, Stephen?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
I remember like seeing that submission being like, OMG,
Goals.
what is this? Obviously she was scoring high just because she was at that threshold of just like stepping on the stage, looked great.
Yeah.
So 66% of her score was probably really, really high. And then I'm basing that based on like if she had no pageant walk skills at all. So just by the look, she probably scored well. And then all of the rest is icing on the cake. And when you think about it, like swimsuit is definitely something that separates the contenders from those that are there for experience. Maybe it's their first time. So if she looked the way she usually looks, which I'm guessing she did, already she's going to have a really huge head start. But to your question about interview, it's definitely important. And with 80 contestants, it's most important actually to be memorable across the board. Because if you meet them in an interview, you want them to remember that they met you on stage. When they see you, like, oh yeah, that's that girl that said blank.
Yeah. And
then that's really where your score is going to boost. So I wouldn't say it's less important, but I would say think about how things are scored and just focus on maximizing the points in every category.
That's good. So Corinne traveled to the Bahamas. That's where Teen USA was held every year for, a decade or so. However, she remained unplaced for the competition, and thankfully Corinne continued to pursue her career in pageantry and would continue to see massive growth and success in the years to come. And it all started with Miss Junior Oz, but let's see how she followed the yellow brick road to several national and international titles.
The following year, Corinne bravely took on the Miss World America 2015 pageant as the youngest competitor at the age of 17. She represented the state of Missouri, proudly placing in the top 15. And during her time as Miss Missouri World, Corinne partnered with SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions, and traveled to many middle schools, high schools, leadership conferences across her state, speaking about how students can set goals, lead healthy lives, and cultivate a positive self-image. And that's another coaching moment. It's really learn about yourself before you compete in pageantry. And I would say while you compete in pageantry too, because this is a journey for everyone. And this can be done with a coach or just doing self-reflection to determine who you are and what you stand for. And as a title holder, you need to know your mission and know who you truly are so you can better your life and the lives of others around you. And you can see through this journey, and we'll get there further, and there's another coaching moment built into this later, is that Corinne was always evolving in her message. So each time she won a pageant, she was kind of shifting what was important to her. And that makes perfect sense, right? Seems like when you're 16, 17, like every day is a new experience and you're just figuring out what's in your heart. And you can have that journey through pageantry. So don't beat yourself up about it. And we'll get there later. But make sure you're taking time to just think about, okay, for 365 days, who do I want to be? Who can I be authentic to? So I'm like not putting it on every day. So that self-evaluation is really important.
Yeah. One of my, it's like a mild pet peeve, one of those things that's like, you just don't connect with when people either say, you've changed. I'm like, yeah, Captain Obvious. Yeah, I'm doing my best to change like daily. And then also in like when people write you a note or in movies, it's like, don't ever change. I'm like, trust me, you want me to change in like a lot of areas. So yeah, she's just doing what's natural and progressive because you want to change and adapt your message for the organization that you're representing, the title that you're wanting to win, and for who you are at that stage in your life. So yeah, I completely agree. Change, everyone, change. And if someone accuses you of changing, say yes. Yes, I have. And you're welcome. Yeah. So Corinne didn't skip a beat and applied to Miss New York Earth United States pageant in 2016 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And she was crowned Miss New York Earth United States in 2016, winning herself a modeling contract with Bazaar Models, a tanning and spa membership with Planet Beach Spa, and a chance to represent New York at 2016 Miss Earth United States pageant held in Washington, D.C.
From Miss Teen USA to Miss World America and now Miss Earth United States 2016, Corinne was more determined than ever to represent the United States at Miss Earth, and she competed in evening gown, swimsuit, interview, and onstage question, all leading her to have the highest score and win the title of Miss Earth United States 2016.
Mm-hmm. And I was the MC there. I was the MC. So you're welcome, Corinne. No, I'm kidding. She says, I did not wake up like this. I changed my lifestyle for this. I work out diligently for this. I changed what I eat for this. I sweat for this. I cried for this. I made this, and this is worth it. That's a statement of a powerful woman right there.
And it's a major coaching moment, probably the biggest one that I can possibly impart during this entire podcast. And it's even the contestants who you think are naturally gifted at presentation and communication work their tails off, because often that comes with hours of preparation and it looks easy because of those hours of preparation. So if you are sitting there on your hiney and you're like, oh my gosh, I'll never be as successful as this queen, or how can I compete with this person? It's get up off your hiney, put in those hours, do 20 minutes of interview prep every single day, practice your walking, treat every day you walk out of your home as an opportunity to present yourself to the public like you would the judges. And that's how you compete with those people. They just, again, obviously some people are more naturally gifted at it, but nobody rolls out. I shouldn't say nobody. Most people in the pageant industry do not roll out without significant preparation and dedication. And again, they make it look easy because of all that time.
Yeah. And I can remember I went through a time where I went through this period of really a lot of self-doubt and insecurity. And I can remember in that time, one of my first public speaking, not even gig. It was like I was standing up at a church, my local church. It was like 100 some people, and just telling them I was going on a mission statement. But my voice was quivering so bad. I was holding this older woman's hand while I was giving the speech to try to calm my nerves. I could barely even get the words out in front of like 100 some people. But like I kept at it, right? And then I enjoy public speaking, and I used to MC a lot. I don't really anymore because of the demands of pageant planning has picked up so much, but I enjoyed that a lot. And when people saw me, some people said that I was good, and I thought I'm pretty good, or I think I'm pretty good at it too. But the thing is, like, I didn't start off that way. Like, I started off very insecure, very timid, but I kept at it and kept fine tuning my skill. And you can too, regardless of what it is. Like, the results is no respecter of persons if you put in the work. So, and that's clearly what Corinne did.
And comparison is the theft of joy as well.
Oh,
it's another good one.
So me this week. I needed that. That was good. So Corinne segued her platform to promoting ending water pollution and increasing water conservation efforts to help her connect with the brand of Miss Earth pageant even more.
And 2 months after winning her national title, she flew to Manila, Philippines to represent the USA at the 2016 Miss Earth pageant. Corinne performed exceptionally well during the various preliminary competitions that occur annually at Miss Earth, and she placed in the top 3 during the Darling of the Press event and first in the swimsuit competition. Again, look up her body. It's insane. I think this is the year she won Best in Pageantry. But Corinne went on to place in the top 8 of one of the biggest international pageant competitions in the world before returning home to the United States.
Yeah, and luckily Corinne did not go home and make any immediate plans on competing again, because a few months later, she was informed that she was the 4th runner-up at Miss Earth. And there are 4 international titles awarded to the top 4. And the Miss Earth Fire, the current reigning Miss Earth Fire, Bruna Zardo of Brazil, was resigning from the title. So if that kind of confused you a little bit, there's 4 titles. It's Miss Earth, and then Miss Fire, and then Miss Wind, and then Miss Water. I might have the order a little bit mixed up, but
yeah, it's air, it's earth, it's the 3 elements.
Yeah.
So air, fire, water.
Air, fire, water. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then so the 4th runner-up, which was, or the 3rd runner-up, which is Fire, she resigned, and Corinne was clearly next in line. So then she got the title.
Yeah, and that's an amazing opportunity, because then you've all just assumed an international title kind of out of thin air when you thought you were done. And Corinne was happy to do so, because throughout her year, she was able to continue to promote her platform of ending water pollution. Yeah.
Which Miss Earth is so cool. It's like the more I learn about Miss Earth, the more I'm a big fan. And I know Laura Clark, Miss Earth USA director, and she's an amazing human just as a being, and being able to work with her over the years and just seeing her organizational skills, her directorship skills, like highly recommend that pageant, and just like her as a human, her as a person. But like, I'm not erasing it. And Miss Earth as a whole, the entire concept and what they do, it's very progressive and like really much needed. So I just love their messaging.
Yeah, well, they're always in the mix. We always get nominations about Pageant of the Year with Miss Earth because every year they do something different or out of the box that helps them stand out. It's like they're never just like riding the status quo. So it's like, what can we do to set ourselves apart, be different, challenge stereotypes? And it's exciting to see.
Yeah, because I mean, it was, I think 2 years ago, I mean, they put veils over the girls' faces, like when they were doing their swimsuit walk. And you couldn't even see their face. So, I mean, it was in another time they did interview. Was this last year or the year before? They did interview. You weren't allowed to wear makeup, like in interview. So, I mean, it's just some really cool stuff that they're doing. I mean, I applaud them. So, after completing her reign as Miss Earth Fire 2016, Corinne was granted an opportunity to represent America at the Miss Multiverse pageant in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and their slogan is Achievement Beyond Beauty.
And I should have hopped in and said this coaching moment before, but like I said, we saw Corinne. She had a platform of Students Against Destructive Decisions. She had a platform of Lyme disease detection. She had a platform of water conservation. And like usually if you follow the nasty side of pageantry, people, I can only imagine, and I say this with love and assumption more than anything else, people probably hated on Corinne for that, right? Like that's just the way some people in the industry are.
Yeah.
But if it makes sense to you, do not worry about what anyone else is going to think, because if you're developing your platform along the way, it's going to be strong enough that the judges don't care. It's like, okay, she might have had a platform last year, but you know what? It really sounds like to me that she has this stuff together, and she had a pretty comprehensive plan when I talked to her. So it doesn't really bother me that she changed her platform. Like that's me in my inner thought as a judge.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like contestants weigh on that a lot, because it is powerful to say, I've been working on this platform for 8 years. Well, amazing, great for you, and you probably have a ton to back it up and a ton of planning. On the flip side, I also see contestants that say, I've had this platform for 8 years, and they still don't have the right plan in place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me help you, which I do. But so don't pre-qualify your passions for your platform. If you feel, like we said, if you feel yourself changing or shifting in your values, change your platform. Don't feel like you have to keep it just to keep it consistent. That's ridiculous. So as you see Corinne going through all these steps and see all these changes, embrace the change, go for it, and don't let anybody or outside influence talk you out of it. Just be prepared in every step of the change.
Yeah, and pageantry is it's an amazing dichotomy of you have such a supportive group of people, like when you win, and they're in your corner, you're beautiful, you got this girl, and even like your friends, basically that close circle that helps you prepare. And then you have this complete other side, which is the dichotomy part, where it's just very judgmental. And typically those are the trolls or the people hiding behind screen names that are that aggressive. But yeah, don't worry about what they say, because the moment you have success, you will also inherit a large number of trolls. But that's kind of some of the price or the rewards, air quote, of success is you get the trolls along with the fans. Yeah.
Yep.
So the competition is, and this is back to Miss Multiverse, and the competition is a 3-week elimination style competition, and it's also a reality television show called I Am Multiverse. 22 international contestants compete in various social, physical, mental, and emotional challenges to test their personality, their athletic performances, social capabilities, and leadership skills. The competition looks like a mixture of your common beauty pageant and the show's Survivor and American Ninja Warrior.
And out of the 22 international competitors, Corinne rose above the top and won the title of Miss Multiverse 2017. This was the most challenging competition Corinne ever competed in, and winning was an incredible experience and success in her books. Of course it is.
Yeah. And in January of 2019, Corinne competed for the title of Miss New York USA 2019, where she placed in the top 20. The dream of her would be to represent the USA at Miss Universe someday, but right now she is focusing on what her next move will be and how pageantry will unfold in the months and years to come.
Which is really brave, because I remember after I won Miss International, I had one more year of eligibility in New York USA, and I was like, should I shouldn't I? And I had like angel devil on my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like on one side, it was like, well, you never know if you could win. That'd be so exciting. And then I was like, you know what? I've had this great opportunity. I have reached the pinnacle of the system I was competing in. And I have this position at Pageant Planet as the queen of fashion at the time. And like, what happens if I don't succeed or if I don't place or whatever it was. So it was like, either way, I was like, what do I do? And I ended up not competing. I'm thrilled with that decision. I'm very happy with it. But it takes a lot of guts to come off a huge win like that and to compete again and be up for all that scrutiny. So applaud to anyone that finishes a title of a reign and competes again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ton of like monkeys on your back on that.
Mm-hmm. Completely. You think you're up?
Sorry.
You're right.
Tangenting. Amongst her constant passion and dedication for competing in pageants, Corinne graduated from high school with honors and went on to study communications and psychology in college. And she found both career fields fascinating with endless possibilities.
So she chose to attend Liberty because it's a Christian college and provided Corinne the chance to complete her online studies. And amidst all of her travels for pageantry, it seemed like this was the best fit for her to balance her queenly duties. And she graduated with a degree in both communications and psychology, as well as a minor in Christian counseling.
Corinne has always been very involved in physical fitness, and maybe that too, and loves figuring out different ways her body works and maximizing her ability in the gym. This led to her becoming a certified personal trainer and eventually incorporating this in with pageant coaching.
Yeah, and I mean, her degrees in communication psychology and Christian counseling also help with, pageant coaching too. So Corinne's educational background, personal interests, and pageant experiences were able to help her launch her own coaching business at the age of 19. She's a personal trainer and a pageant coach, teaching her clients how to be fit to reign.
Fit to Reign offers personal training, modeling techniques, interview and public speaking preparation, wardrobe and image consultations, and pageant coaching. And you may think that being a competitor and a coach at the same time can be a little bit confusing or contradictory, but Corinne has dedicated her experience, wisdom, and knowledge to empowering women to work their very hardest at becoming the best version of themselves in every aspect. She knows that being active in pageants helps her learn the most up-to-date information, true, and keeps her relatable and relevant to her clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So Corinne emphasizes physical fitness to all of her clients, whether or not they are competing in swimsuit competition, and she empowers her girls to be fully confident, not only in their interview and runway walk, but in their body and its capabilities.
More recently, Corinne has incorporated self-development coaching as a focus for her clients. She saw that through pageant coaching, she was able to help young women overcome their insecurities and build confidence. But she wanted this to be an even bigger focus. And I just want to say, if your coach isn't preparing you for life outside of just the pageant, you need to find another coach. Because if someone is just programming you to be successful on the stage, they're not helping you find all of the ways that will make you a great title holder and a successful business person or a go-getter or goal setter or goal achiever, whatever it is. So find someone that does incorporate personal development, self-growth, etc.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Because pageantry comes with an expiration date. You either age out or you win out. I mean, ultimately, you can continue to roll up into different age divisions, but the primary purpose of pageantry is to leverage it to enhance an opportunity in your life. So there's that. All right. So God is Corinne's foundation in everything in life and in her business. And it was important for her to equip her clients to understand that they were all daughters of the King, as this is the ultimate level of self-awareness that we all possess.
Corinne coaches women of all ages, shapes, and sizes to transform their lives and become fit to reign in pageants and in their lives. And if you'd like to learn more about Corinne's coaching, check out our website, Fit to Reign, and Reign is spelled like the Queen Reign, fit2reign.com, and on Instagram at Fit to Reign or fit_to_reign. So a couple different handles.
Yeah. And Corinne still happily lives on the ranch with horses and is still able to fulfill her passion for horse riding that she has had ever since she was 4 years old. In all the systems she's competed in, she stands by the fact that pageants are aimed at empowering and helping women learn about themselves. Each system she has competed in has been a continual process of growth and reflection.
From what it sounds like, we may be seeing her on the Miss USA or Miss Universe stage one day, because she's several years of eligibility left, which we know she is completely capable of doing.
Yeah. For now, she is enjoying watching the transformation of her own clients as they learn the skills of reining their day and their pageant routines, and watching them win is almost as fun as winning itself. Almost. You can follow along Corinne's next steps at Corrin Stellakis.
In her own words, she says, "My biggest tip for women is to never compare themselves to other women. The reason that so many women struggle with insecurity is that they compare their behind-the-scenes life with other women's highlight reels. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Women are like snowflakes, unique and beautiful. It is our mindset that determines our makeup. I always tell my girls that the only person they should be comparing themselves to is the person they were yesterday. Strive for progression, not perfection."
And if you would like to be a featured contestant for our next podcast, create a contestant profile with all of your information, hidden facts, and what makes you special. Then email support@pageantplanet.com with the title Podcast Feature so we can review your profile, and we'll let you know after you submit it if you are scheduled. And also a special shout out to Maria Giorlando for doing the research. Thank you for listening, and if you've received any benefit from this show or from ones previous, please consider giving us a 5-star review. It might seem like a small action to you, but for Jesse and I, it really means the world. So until next time, take care.
Want to become a part of pageant history? Create a free contestant or business profile on pageantplanet.com to unlock hidden features and connect with other experts throughout the world.